before you check it out, man, because this is disturbing. Now, the most dangerous thugs, right, are the ones who literally have no motive that makes sense. I mean, the methods which they derive to do a mass killing or just murder in general is kind of like nonsensical, idiotic, pathetic, and lunatic all in one. I mean, the modern day terrorist who would most likely succeed to commit such a crime that would, listen, hence the word terrorist, terrorize a group of people would most likely look like this guy. Okay, you're seeing him on your screen. He would have the face of this guy. Now, in the media, he's not the typical crime suspect at all. Actually, he's probably the guy who you go to for tips on crime, right? Because usually, at least according to the narrative by the news media, criminals usually have brown faces, maybe tatted up, but not this kid. Now, you got to watch the narrative in this whole thing. Because, listen, a murderer who looks like this, he isn't a thug, he's not a terrorist. Somehow they're going to paint it out as mentally ill. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, it's a very sad story today. Very, very sad. Now, the man on your screen, the thug, Dylann Storm Roof. Okay, I believe I'm saying it right. Maybe it's Dylan, but I think it's Dylann. Well, actually, maybe Dylan, and that sounds more white. Now, he was arrested in Shelby, North Carolina this morning during a traffic stop shortly after 11 a.m. No injuries, no bruises, no snapped spines, right? No DDTs, no crippler cross faces, no bruises, no black eyes, no shots. Just peacefully. Now, last night is where it all went down. Because he walked into a church and gunned down 9 black people in a church who were at a prayer meeting. Now, let's not think too far about why he did it. The clear reason why he did it was race. Now, of course, if you look on his Facebook, because people always say we have no signs that this was coming, right? This is a mentally deficient guy and he's a lone wolf. You're going to hear that term a lot. A lone wolf. His Facebook pics show him very decorated with flags of 2 former white supremacist regimes in the apartheid era, right? Right? In South Africa and what we now know to be Zimbabwe. So the story goes, right? He walks into the Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church and pretty much after 8 p.m., he requests to sit next to the Reverend, who is also a South Carolina state senator. Now, after sitting for like an hour, he opens fire, killing, of course, the Reverend as well, and 8 other people. He reloaded 5 times. Now, his only explanation, at least verbally, was that he had to do it because he said, you rape our women and you're taking over our country and you have to go. 8 people died on the scene, 1 on the way to the hospital, 1 survived by playing dead. Now, a little background on this terrorist, right? Because a terrorist like this, you know what I mean? He's been trained to kill, trained. Okay, a gun was probably put in his hand at a very young age. And even on his 21st birthday, his father bought him a .45 caliber handgun as a birthday gift. Now, this guy, you got to imagine, he sits in a prayer meeting with the people he's going to kill for an hour before opening fire. This is ridiculous. Now, as I said, he's arrested. And of course, they're probably going to do a lot of research and they're going to probably diagnose him a million times. And we're probably going to hear this is the lone wolf thing. But listen, man, as I keep saying, it's usually, and I'm not going to say that, and if you do have this type of thinking, you're wrong. This is not how all white people think. This is not how the majority of white people think. And there will be a lot more dead people, okay? This is clearly a portion of whites, and this is clearly a minority. Just like when niggas are fucking up, it's a portion of niggas, but it's a small portion. And I could possibly think that's possibly about 10% of white people that feel exactly how this motherfucker feels, but probably doesn't have the conviction to go through with it. Maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. Same way with niggas. Niggas who want to fuck it up for everybody else, it's about 10% as well. So listen, man, it's a very tough thing, man. I empathize with the families who are grieving and the entire church congregation and also community who's grieving over this instance. And listen, man, I know we're still taking this all in, but we can't believe that in 2015, some shit like this is still happening. It's still happening. And as I said, it's more than just he's a thug. This is racially motivated. It's clear. I mean, a lot of times we have these conversations about, is it race, is it not? This is clearly fucking race. It's very disgusting, but listen, There's going to be a link in the description. There's been a couple organizations that reached out to me. They want a fundraiser to try to build back the community. If you guys do want to donate, there's a link in the description there. If not, let's have a conversation about it. What are your thoughts about it? Listen, to be honest, the more I read into it and the more I heard about it, the more you kind of get into a very deep, dark place where you kind of lose. You lose even hope for humanity. But still, we do have to remember, it's a small population, okay? It's a small population, no matter what community that fucks it up. Even if we're talking about people who are of Middle Eastern descent, it's a very small, percentage of them who are fucking terrorists who are fucking flying into buildings. You get me? And there's also a very small population of whites who are doing this shit. I'm not going to say it's a very small population who do not like niggas. But of course, the actual crime is a small amount of people. But it doesn't make it any better because every time it happens, it's just as bad. And from here on out, that's why you got to stay woke, man. Listen, there's going to be a lot of people pushing a lot of different agendas, and this is what I hate about it. You're going to have people jumping out the window. Okay, if everyone was armed, because you always have the people with the guns. They come out, oh, if everyone was armed. The NRA, they're jumping in front of it. Well, if everyone was armed, everybody could get killed. Shut the fuck up, right? Then there's going to be people that use it for their own agenda and be like, yo, everybody's racist. So that's what it usually comes down to. Where do you sit on the matter? Wait in the comment section. Let me know. I'm here to talk to you guys because it's affecting us all. Get in the comment box. And for a lot of people, there's always a section of my audience, particularly, where anytime we get to something racial, they're like, yo, let's stop talking about race. Shut the fuck up. We got to talk about this because, of course, we got to talk about this because this is where it emanates from. These are the people you fear. And the thing is, you can't distinguish them. Because, yes, they might share a genuine skin color, but you don't know which one is the motherfucking crazy one or the one who's radical. So get in the comment box. Make sure you guys definitely subscribe. It's your boy DJ Akademiks, man. Also, check the link in the description. I'll possibly put a GoFundMe campaign to someone else. A GoFundMe campaign. It's not managed by me. It's probably managed by the official people for that particular church. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. Go check it out. Donate if you can. Thank you. It's your boy DJ Akademiks. I'm out.